produce, who can produce. All right, I'd love to have a moderator. I don't know how to do that though. It hasn't been very good. I don't get enough people in here to really have a problem. I was doing pretty well for a minute there. Oh, the wheels are locked. Had some hooligans yammering out, spelling bad words. So I had a different setup though. You could see a little bit more. This isn't ideal, but we're gonna make it work. So yeah, a moderator, you would have, I guess, an external person watching the conversation and then able to comment on it from there. So, I mean, I see some of these live shows. I get this one guy puts a toilet seat on his head. And this other one, these two people, they just kind of say this strange word over and over again. I at least try to do something. I'm going to move colonized ryegrain berries into bulk substrate here. And that will be that. I don't want to break anything. I feel like I'm going to break something. There we go. There we go. So I got master's mix. I don't even know where the ryegrain berries are. Let me grab those. Let me undo the top here. 15 psi, 90 minutes. It's gonna be blue oyster mushrooms. Lion's mane worked, kinda. And yeah, we'll get the blue oyster mushrooms going. I know I've said this before, but this is about to, it's about to work. Okay. Pull that thing off maybe a little early. I've been making the substrate a little bit wetter because the mycelium isn't colonizing. I'm going to grab the ryegrain berries here. Glad I was prepared. Oh, I got a couple of potentials. I had my eye on this guy. I didn't do a break and shake, but it's had its moment. So we got colonized ryegrain berries. We got blue oyster mushrooms right here. I've got my bulk substrate over here, and I'll just throw this guy in there. The lion's mane, like I said, did well. It had a pink hue for a while, and then that dissipated, and they came out very well. They weren't corally. They didn't have any strange growths. So what does that tell me? I think I've got CO2. I got CO2 optimized. The humidity's rocking and rolling. Speaking of which, I got to clean the humidifier. And I think really the only other angle would be lighting. I've got quality lights, but they are, they're not on a timer, so I just kind of plug them in when I get home from work, and then I unplug them when I go to bed. So let me turn on the laminar flow hood here and get going. Here we go. All right, flow hood on. Impulse heat sealer on. Lost my pair of scissors, so I bought this guy today. It's pretty industrial. We'll get the ryegrain berries. I'll get some gloves. Pretty basic setup. I got a 10 by 10 tent going. I was hoping to have my first sale on Halloween. That does not look like it's going to happen. In fact, I'm in a little bit of a quandary with one of the food distributors here in town, but I think I'm going to go for the restaurants right out of the gate. I think I'm going to go find one of these little mom and pop shops, show them what mushrooms I'm working with, and make a sale. I think that'll be the best course of action. So, it's been a beautiful day here in Sitka. I forgot to clean my hands. Sun came out. Winter is upon us. What in the world? Oh, hello. Excellent. I'm glad that the chat actually works. Getting all these warning prompts to tell me to moderate. But for a bit there, I was having people that'd come in and then they would just kind of spell out bad words. Oh yes, I'm doing well. It is cold. It's not the sun out. Winters in Sitka are pretty mild. Nothing like everybody loves bananas. The rain's going to be coming. Windy. It's been getting windy. It's a lot windier than Juneau. So I love banana. Banana's great. I saw a commercial for freeze-dried bananas, which inspired me. Think of it, freeze-dried lion's mane mushrooms. And then I'll package them and I'll sell them to the grocery store here in town. So, yeah, I've been saying it for a while, but I am ridiculously close to success here. Well, we got C-Mart here in town is actually for sale. And then we've got Lakeside. So we got 2 grocery stores on my island, our island, and one of them is for sale. So if you're interested in buying a grocery store in a small Alaskan town, that's your thing. So, all right, let's get it going. So this is Master's Mix. This is the bulk substrate that I'll be using. And, all right, there it goes. See, this is why they told me I have to have moderators. I'm going to break this up before I cut the bag open. There is such a thing as letting it go too far. So this will be great though. This will just tear into the Master's Mix. So the Master's Mix probably 10 days tops, and then it'll go to the fruiting tent. So a lot of room. I should have bought shelves today. This is oyster mushrooms. Yep. So the colonized rye grain berries will be going into the bulk substrate Master's Mix. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it into six fruiting blocks, like so. They're going to go to an incubation chamber. 10 days in the incubation chamber. This will be fully colonized. They'll move it to the fruiting tent. All right. And what else was I going to say? I did a farm tour. I went to Vegas and I did a mushroom farm tour, and they used millet. So that is a consideration. I've always used rye grain berries, but they like the millet. So maybe a consideration in the future. So, okay. Here we go. So let me make sure the impulse heat sealer's on. Okay. Pretty straightforward. With the Master's Mix, I've been getting partial colonization a lot of times, where it'll colonize the top, and it'll just miss an entire chunk. So, and I think the diagnosis was too dry. Now, so I made sure that the bulk substrate was a little bit wetter than usual. All right, and so we're going to see if I still have those colonization issues. Field capacity. I don't even know what that means. What are we talking about? All right. So, doesn't take a whole lot. Got the laminar going here. I'm going to just take a little corner off. The other issue with my business model is essentially I don't have a refrigeration. Oh. I guess it would be at field capacity. I was looking for like a couple of drops. Like it was like, there was always this idea like loamy soil. I was always like, you squeeze it and a couple drops came out. And so, and then there's human error. It's like, well, what part am I grabbing? This part has a couple of drops in it. But yeah, so this is well done. If anything, I may have erred on it being a little too wet. But at field capacity, I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible. So, but something's got to change. Something's got to change. It's not colonizing evenly. So this is what I usually put way more. Oh golly, look at those chunks. I usually put way more substrate in than I need to. Squeeze all the water out. Yeah, you know, I almost want to have like some sort of, wow. So again, I overdo this. There we go. That's plenty. That's plenty. I'm thinking that a bag of colonized ryegrain berries could go maybe 10 to 20 bags of substrate. I'm going to do 6, so I'm under whatever. Okay, so, and then I try to catch a little bit of air in the bag because it helps when I'm mixing to not have any kind of suction and to have some room to move. It's kind of a weird attempt. Let me get it in here, a little impulse heat sealer action. Okay, nice clean, crisp seal. Excellent. All right, and I'll mix these later. Got a little bit of breathing room in there. I'll throw it around. Here, let me get all these. Let me get all these good and well done. This guy actually, he's broken many times. My little statue. It was a gift from my mother, and then I broke it, and then she came up to visit, and she glued it back together. So, it stands. Okay. You can break it up and leave it a little longer. All right, break and shake of the Masters mix. That's a new take. I was doing that originally, and then I got away from it. I thought it was bad form. But I think, you know, anything's better than a partially colonized bag. I mean, you might as well. And then this will be good. I'll see if it's correlated with the strain of mushroom that I got going on and all. So I ordered some chestnut mushroom plates. Big brain, 100, dang, all right. So I'll be doing lion's mane, oyster mushroom, I've abandoned reishi, and chestnut mushroom. So, and I think my first sale is going to come from a restaurant. These food people are being a little little territorial. I think there's other individuals in town that want to open a mushroom farm, but it has not been the easiest. It hasn't been as easy as I thought. It's taken me a lot longer, and I don't know how's it going. Alaska actually has some of the most lenient food production laws. Excuse me. In the country, because we almost, when they started shutting everything down, they almost were like, good luck to you, and we could have gotten hosed. So yeah, we're one of the most lenient states to produce like cottage industry type situations. So, okay. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of YouTube stuff lately. A lot of shorts. I made a long form out of that Las Vegas mushroom farm tour that I took. A lot of fun. If you know of any other mushroom farms that want to be in a docuseries, tell them to send me a message. I'm trying to get down to Houston. I got a family thing I got to go to in the holidays. What do you have, Portobello rocket fuel? I will. Oh, excellent. Yeah, no, great to have you. I'm cruising. I am on the edge of glory. Because I was so low that the differential, if I even have mild amounts of success, things were looking so glib like 2 years ago that glory's the only way to put it. That's what you got to do. You got to fail so badly at so many things all at once and then recover. And then that's how you get glory. Here we go. How many do I got? That's my third one. I'm overdoing it. I am. All right. Looking good. Oh no. I'm always cleaning around here. You gotta. So my tent has positive air pressure because of the computer fan that I got running in to pushing the humidifier in there. I also have a really good exhaust. I think that was a big thing. And there's a guy that follows my channel, good guy. I think he's out of Georgia. Do you still airbox? I wonder what it, okay, yeah. And he was like, well, you got to pump the air outside. I was having just major CO2 issues, and that was the fixer-upper. I just had to. So it was just a big commitment. I had to drill through the wall. It was a thing. So, but success. Yeah, and if you want to see some mushrooms, like just check out the. I got some shorts that'll show you all the thing. I think I got a shtick, you know. I do like a little, I do some mushroom cultivation stuff. I try to be a little humorful, and things are moving along. Not as fast as everybody else. Everybody else is flying. I am the tortoise. of mushroom content. Here we go. I can't really find anybody else doing it. Holy. So I always got to watch. I'll get some Yahoo in here. I don't know if other people pay for moderators. My luck is I'll pay for a moderator and then I'll get like one guy in here for me, and some dude will just be hanging out for 3 hours. Oh my gosh. I would say YouTube has kind of taken over my life the last year and a half. I mean, again, it was like things were looking glib. I was like, oh, I gotta. So, but I poured my heart into this garage. I mean, it needed a lot of work, and now, how many do I got? I got 2 more. Just the cleaning, and then, you know, aesthetics. I had, you know, painted a little bit. And I built some rollers and had to move all this equipment out here. And I got to humidify the tent. I got to dehumidify the air. I got an air filtration going on. I got the humidifier set up. We still have our freezers out here. So I had to insulate. I insulated the garage door. I insulated the back. Can any mushroom eat or decompose Italian cypress logs? Something that is edible but doesn't need such precise weather. To be honest, I don't know a lot about Italian cypress logs. It'd probably just depend on the variety of the mushroom. I'm sure there's some sort of fungus that'll break it down. What do we have here? We got western hemlock, Sitka spruce, alder, and yellow cedar to a lesser degree, a little bit more rare. Yellow cedar, I bet that's got so many antifungal properties. It's probably the best piece of wood you'll ever smell. It's like burns fantastic. They build buildings with it. They build buildings with it because it's so antimicrobial that it's a natural preservative. It doesn't rot. So maybe that'll be my challenge. Maybe I'll try to grow some mushrooms on yellow cedar and see what I can do. Italian cypress. Yeah, I have no clue. I've tried some log inoculations. I put mycelium plugs into a stump out back. And we'll see how that plays out. I think I did a stick of western hemlock, and I did a stick of alder. I should go find those. They're probably in the woods. Well, I know they're in the woods. They're in the woods with the other sticks. All right. Holy moly. Yeah. With winter coming, gotta take my vitamin D, or I get cranky. I'm in fairly high spirits. I'll say this about summer too. Will you be live tomorrow? I don't know if I'm live tomorrow. I don't think so. I'm waiting for the chestnut mushrooms to come in, and then I'll go live for I'm going to be taking the Petri dish plates and moving those to rye grain berries. So we'll be doing the step before this with chestnut, lion's mane, and blue oyster mushrooms. I'm still waiting for it in the mail, but they're usually pretty fast because it's kind of time sensitive. So once I get those, I'll do another live, and then I think that's where I'm at. But no, probably not tomorrow because I don't have anything ready. I have to prepare everything. With rye grain berries, I have to soak them one night, and then the next day, then I gotta bag them, or I gotta boil them, evaporate, bag, sterilize, and then I gotta let it cool. Oh, you're talking to somebody else about being live. That's crazy. Is this lion's mane? I want to try lion's mane. Oh, it's a fantastic mushroom. It's got a very, just a slight rubbery texture to it. So it has a lobster-like feel. It's not obnoxious, but it has just a little bit of an al dente situation. Oh, excellent. Oh, awesome, Joshua. Cool. Yeah, very nice to meet you. Glad you're along for it. I do appreciate it. I am so grateful for everybody who's supporting my my venture here. You're good people. Well, I don't know that for sure, but I'm assuming. All right, let me get this thing in. How many more do I have? I think I got the end. Ta-da-da, da-da-da. All right. Holy crap! Oh, so yeah, it's a grind. You know, I'm not making any money on YouTube or the business of mushrooms. So it's like I'm having fun. So that's what everyone says. Well, you're enjoying it. I'm like, yeah. But I want the victory. I want the victory, and I'm right there. I am right there. Let's, so close, especially with the lion's mane. The last lion's mane success, and by success, it grew the wrong color and some other issues, but that was a big one because that lion's mane is the first one to really start showing all sorts of weird Frankenstein stuff. Okay, I might stay for a little longer. We're about to go to upstairs. Okay, everyone's taking naps. Yes, it's 4:50 here. Oh, you must be East Coast or our friend from India. It's so wild. Look at the world. This is nuts. I never thought. You know, I don't think I started doing lives until maybe like 6 months ago. It was the weirdest thing I thought live. I'm like, what if something happens? I'm like, well, oyster, yep, I got oyster going on. Voluptuous. My hope for oyster is that the pigmentation, I really want it to be nice and blue. I don't want to go to a restaurant and hand them this like gray thing. I want blue oyster mushrooms to be blue. I think the lighting will have a big part of that. And I want them to cascade. I want them to have a nice shelf-like structure. So like I said, I did a mushroom farm tour in Las Vegas late September. I made a video on it, and his blue oyster mushrooms were just, well, theirs. It was I think him and his wife, him and his partner, and then I think they had a small staff. But they were looking good. He also really painted the warning on how difficult this is going to be. So I live in Sitka, Alaska, and the situation's a little different. So we have cruise ships we're a town of 8,000. We go to about 10,000 in the summer, and we have cruise ships from May to October. And I believe we're close. I think we're around maybe 700,000 visitors. All right. And so the summer's the moneymaker. Like even now, some of the restaurants close down. This is what's so funny. So easily the highest fail rate for any business is restaurants. I think that's fairly universally understood. Not in Alaska. Not in Alaska. You start a restaurant in Alaska, not only will it succeed, you'll have like 3 or 4 of them. Down south, if somebody can have one successful restaurant, they're a hero. Up here, they got like 4 or 5. Not only do they have like 4 or 5, but they're like varied. You know, one will be a sports bar, then they'll do like an Italian restaurant, and then they'll go over here and like start some sort of like, you know, Asian fusion stuff. So it's crazy. Where was I going with that? Well, that's my market. That's my market. Oh, the idea that most of my sales are going to be in the summer. So the farm tour, I mean, Vegas or wherever, they're going year round, right? All the time, 24/7, year round. And message retracted. But with my situation, I could ramp up mushroom production going into summer, hit it hard from May through September, maybe take a month off, do a push through the holidays, break out until mid-May, mid-April, fire it back up again, push through the cruise season. So I think I could get a, so again, I'm having that issue with the colonization on top. So I'm really trying to mix the berries. Excuse me. Yo. All right. There we go. This is colonized rye grain berries put into a master's mix substrate for bulk cultivation of blue oyster mushrooms. Here we go. This is going, hello, into the incubation chamber. 10 days, it'll become a white block. I will then move it into the fruiting chamber. Fruit it out. And I'm thinking it's only like about 1 to 2 weeks before it's popping off. Abracadabra. So this is what I'm talking about. Like I capture a little bit of air in the bag so that I can at least do this. I've had it sometimes where it's so suctioned and tight that I'm kind of like, I'm kneading it like a bag of sand, like a bag of wet sand. And that's not what you want. You want to move it around. All right. Let's get some space. Let's label our bags. I'm the only one that gets excited about this, but this is so crucial. So crucial. You got to think, I'm like, oh, I'll remember. I don't need to write things down. I'm getting pretty good. I can look at mycelium and I can know what variety it is. Nonetheless, this makes it so much easier. I bought a 2-year calendar that I've got on the wall. Look at how much I put in this one. This is ridiculous. I also have a scale that I'm not using. Right? We should be looking at 5-pound bags with, cumulative. Because really what I'm looking for is to have a nice, even rollover. I see the air is trapped in there. But essentially, I want it to fold over and then tuck. I'm even considering taping the filter patch. This is a master's mix substrate. So what is that? That's soy hulls. Not walnut. What am I? Why do I have walnut? It's master's mix substrate. Which works pretty well for Blue Oyster. It works pretty well for Lion's Mane. Reishi, it was a flop. And I've tried to make it work. And people said that I could. Some people said I couldn't. I had a lot of hard time. I'm jumping ship on the Reishi right now. It's just, I think I was just trying to be too fancy. I'm not there. Market's pretty slim. I was going straight to tinctures. I was going to start some sort of apothecary, which is a joke. So, yeah, I abandoned the reishi for now, and but I'm adding the chestnut mushroom, and I'm adding the chestnut mushroom. For because of the tour that I took in Vegas, and because I assumed he was going to tell me, and it's a multi-purpose. Oh shit! What is there? Oh, it's just on the bag. Sometimes when I sterilize it, some condensation happens in the thing. All right, have a good time on Roblox. Or whatever that is. Some sort of gaming. I need to get back into gaming. I'll start playing a game, put some time in. They're really, it's a whole nother, it's quite the investment. If I could start streaming it, might be worth it. Abracadabra. I'm almost tempted to write the date down. I'll think about that one. Oh my goodness, I'm getting old. I'm feeble. I don't even know those will fit. I gotta dig out the totes and see what's going on. Oh, but the tour. So I was down in Vegas, and I thought for sure, yeah, he's gonna say, oh, blue oyster mushroom, blue oyster mushroom. But he had something to say about chestnut mushrooms, and I think there's something to it, right? If it can grow on the same substrate. He had quite a few varieties. Nope, this is blue oyster mushroom, mycelium. See, this is what I'm talking about. If I don't capture air in the bag, now look at, it's like a giant stress ball. But I need to mix it. Dang it, this is what I was talking about, though. Moving around, I'll do the best I can. What was I talking about? Oh, chestnut mushrooms. Yeah, he said they're a fan favorite of the chefs down there. I think ease of growth. And what other category am I looking at? It's It's suitable for the same kind of substrates, the same kind of environments. So I think I'm excited about the chestnut mushroom. And here, you want a scandal. So I send an email to the food people here, right? To the hippies. I send an email to the hippies. And then they tell me. They're like, oh, I think we already have lion's mane. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm in a small town, small Alaskan town. I would have known. And they're like, ah. So there's a little bit, I don't know. They say they got it. I say they don't. So there may be some bad blood. Maybe I'm making it up. Maybe I'm imagining things. But it feels like I'm getting shouldered out. And this is what they're saying. They got somebody who says, "Oh, I want to do that. I want to be the guy who supplies the lion's mane." Okay, do it, right? I've been working at this for months, and it's a pain in the butt. And if some dude thinks he can just kind of come into this picture with ease, I don't think so. Even in Juneau. I mean, I lived in Juneau for a while. It's just hard to pull it off. You know, you got large food distributors coming out of the lower 48. And what they say is just buy everything from us, right? And they give them a little list, and then they go through and they just check what they want, and then it all comes in one big box, right? And one big pallet, or some truck shows up and just has everything that you checked. And then you get some guy who says, hey, I'm growing mushrooms in my garage. Do you want them? And they're like, well, sure, but you're adding a level of difficulty that now, instead of the one guy, the one shop, the Costco of wholesale produce, now you do 99% of everything here, and then you got some dude over here. Now, with unproven consistency, unproven quality, now they're going to deliver crap. The lower 48 delivery, they're not going to bring up gourmet mushrooms. It's on a barge for like 2 weeks already. So we get button mushrooms wrapped in saran wrap, soggy and frightening. But there we go. That'll work. Excellent. So that pretty much wraps up my experiment. So yes, these are master's mix. This will go into the incubation chamber in 10 days. I'll put it in the grow tent. When I get the chestnut mushrooms, when I get my new plates in, I will do another live feed of those going into rye grain berries. And that's it. Life's good. The mushroom farm I'm right there. I am right there. I've been saying it for a while, but I swear to you, I am so close. And I better be close. This has just been crazy. You can't see it, but I got a whole thing going on, right? All right, farewell, everyone. Good night.